This is an update video.
Now that I have your attention,
You don't have our attention.
money!
I'm listening.
You have all of our attention just by screaming anything.
That's good to know.
Now, I don't ever do this, but I wanted to give an update because something significant in my life has happened. It stems from this idea of the worst two words when put together in the English language. And those two words are, what if? And I really don't like those words because usually it's used in the context of like, what if I would have done this and my life would have, been different? Or what if I wouldn't have made that decision? And where would my life be at now? And this comes from, I'm watching a show called Ordinary Joe. It's on NBC. And it's so interesting because on the day of his graduation, he has three different options, three different decisions to make. And what the show does is it compares his life in all three of those decisions and how that one decision affected the outcome of his life forever. And how different his lives are based on the decision that he made. And that made me think about like my whole life of what if I didn't quit baseball to start doing musicals and learning how to play piano and sing? Or what if I didn't start making videos as a freshman in college with my iPhone just because I wanted to remember my college experience? Would I have ever filmed in Fiji or Tahiti or Vietnam, Bali? Would I have ever been to those places even? And I feel like I had one of those moments a few weeks ago. So if you are familiar with me or know me on a personal level, you know I've been living in St. George, Utah. And I was there with Cami, and she was finishing up school there, and I was working for a company making videos as Paparazzi Accessories. They made all their videos and digital marketing. So while doing this, I was filming a wedding up in Salt Lake City about a year and a half ago. And I sat at the table at the luncheon with Jeffrey and Jamie Downs. And I knew them from growing up. They were leaders in the church that I went to growing up. And so we reminisced, and I asked him, what have you been up to? And he said, we've been streaking. We're now streakers. And I immediately thought, maybe I don't know you as well as I thought I knew you. But he began to explain that they're writing a book called Streaking. And the idea of it is what you do consistently ends up determining who you become and having personal winning streaks in your own life. So you've all heard of professional, like in pro sports, there's winning streaks there. And then you've heard of Snapchat streaks where you keep that streak alive. What they did is they discovered a methodology on how you can have personal winning streaks, and keeping those streaks alive will help you become the person you want to be. And I was so intrigued by this. So after this conversation that we had by happenstance, because I was filming a wedding in Salt Lake City and we ended up sitting at the same table, I asked him, I was like, if there's any opportunity in the future that I could be a part of this, please give me a call and let me know. So about 4 months later, I get a call from Jeff, and he says, hey, Talon, we want to bring you on to Streaking, and we want you to be our chief marketing officer. And at this point, Streaking's just starting out. So it's in exchange for my work. It wouldn't be for money, it would be for equity in the company, so ownership. So I was so excited because I started my own streaks. I started a streak to sweat at least once daily from a workout, or I started another streak to read at least one paragraph from a nonfiction book. And I've been doing that for the last 483 days now. And in that 483 days, I've now read 15 books, where previously in the last 5 years, I don't think I completed 2 books in the last 5 to 7 years. But in the last year and a half, I've completed over 13 or 15 books. So it was so cool. And I was so excited because I tried streaking, and it was like the coolest experience on seeing how well it worked. Because we've always been told about habits, and as soon as you hit day X, the next day it's automatic. So you're so excited, you do it consistently, and then you realize, well, man, I must have stood in the wrong line in heaven and didn't get the habit gene, because it is not automatic for me. And that's why I like Streaking so much. So I was so excited to be offered this position with Streaking, to be the chief marketing officer and help grow it. And so when the time came while I was working at Paparazzi, where I was, looking for other jobs, looking for other opportunities, possibly moving up to Salt Lake, and Jeff asked me if I would be the first full-time employee with Streaking. And what that would mean is I'd have to take a little bit of a pay cut. I'd have to take a pay cut because we're just starting off.
I declare bankruptcy!
And so Cami and I were talking about this, and there were other opportunities that were paying higher than what I was making in St. George. And logically, we're just got married. We're probably going to be starting a family in the next few years. It'd make the most sense to go with the job that pays the most money. But then I thought of what if? What if I didn't go all in on streaking? So we made the decision that I would go full-time on streaking and take the pay cut. And as a result, we moved to Colorado. This is not our home. This is my parents' home. And we are living in true millennial fashion with our parents so that I can get streaking off the ground. Now, I wanted to share this with you so I could ask something of you, and that is your support. This is scary. This is new and it's different. And I want to invite you to support me in this. Streaking is an amazing book, and it's something that I believe will change the world. Imagine the world if everyone had a streak to compliment at least one stranger daily. Or imagine the world if you had the streak to give to charity at least once weekly. What effect would that have on the world? Or of your family. I started a streak to say I love you because to Cami at least once daily. This has been the coolest thing because every day I get to purposely think of why I love her. And someone said, well, you're just doing it to keep your streak alive. And I was like, well, you're right. But what if I just went to bed instead? I was like, I could say why I loved my wife, or I could just go to bed and not do it. Which one's the better option? I love streaking, and I want to invite you to be a part of it. Now, you could support me by either one, buying the book and start a streak yourself, learn more about it. 2, you could download the app. We are building the largest community of streakers in the world. That sounds so funny to say that we're building the largest community of streakers in the world, but it's true. We're going to create the largest community of people who want to become better themselves and change the world. Or 3, you could share this with a friend. Now, we are releasing a new version of the app come this next year. So the one you'll download on the App Store right now is nothing compared to what we've been developing. So if you want an early release and to beta test it, you can click on the link in the description and fill out that form to be included with the beta testing of that app. It is amazing. And I just wanted to share this little piece of my life with you. And what inspired it is I don't want to ask in 10, 15 years, what if I chose the higher paying job and I didn't pursue streaking? I don't want to have to think about that because I know that this is something that will make people better. So if there's something in your life that is a little bit of a risk or you're unsure of, just think, would you rather test it out or ask what if? And that's all I have. That's what I wanted to get off my chest. Until next time, see you guys.